Good night, Barbados and the wider region. Thank you for joining us on WITH News Up to Haystacks with your friendly host, O'Reilly High. Tonight, our topic is going to be prostitution in Barbados. Should it be legalized or should it remain illegal? We're going to take your views, your opinions. We're going to have callers call in. We're going to take emails. Thank you very much for being our listeners. Tonight's show is brought to you by BBC. Think Dirty. We're going to move swiftly into our first caller. We're going to allow you to give your views on prostitution in Barbados. Good night, caller. Your life. What's your opinion?
Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
Prostitution in Barbados. A very big topic you're talking about here tonight. First, let me say I've been happily married for 30 years.
That's good.
The reason why I've been happily married for 30 years is because of prostitutes. That's the honest truth.
That's it.
Because when my wife decides that she's not going to facilitate my needs, I go where I can to get my needs facilitated. If you understand where I'm coming from.
I understand that, sir. That's a very interesting point. We must agree with you where most married persons find outlets to take away from the stress of the marriage, and unfortunately prostitution has to be one of those, but it's still very important to keep the marriage going by having different outlets. We're going to move into our next caller. Good night, caller. Your life. What's your opinion?
Yeah. Good night. I just call to say that all women is whores.
What would make you say such a thing, sir?
Because the mere fact that is the truth. Because you got direct and indirect whores. That's my opinion. Because
direct and indirect.
Yes, a direct whore though is what you would call a prostitute or a sex worker.
Okay.
And an indirect whore though is what you would call a girlfriend or a wife.
I see.
Because the amount of money that you just out now, that's the only difference between the direct and the indirect. The direct, no, you'll give you about $60 to get yourself happy, so I'm going to go in separate ways, or till next week Friday. Or, if you so desire, the whole weekend, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Your wife, no, or your woman, your girlfriend, you go on a date, she wants something to eat, she wants something to drink, you know what I mean? Easily, boom, $150, $200, you done blow. Yeah. And as a poor man working for $300 a week, that's hit you hard, because you still got pay down for the car, you still got a rent, you still got food to buy for yourself, you know what I mean?
Well, that's very interesting, folks. Listen to this. $150 for dinner or your first date with your wife or girlfriend. We're going to move here to an email we got. Question. Escort establishments are legal, so are strip clubs. So why the women on the streets have to get hauled out for doing the same thing? We're going to answer that for you. When you are in a legal establishment, such as a strip club or a brothel, as you would call it back in the day, having yourself fulfill a fantasy for a paying customer is not illegal. From the time you establish that you want sexual favors to be complemented with money, that then is considered prostitution, and it is considered illegal. Remember, folks, our sponsor tonight is BBC. Think Dirty. We're going to go on to the next caller. Good night, caller. What's your opinion?
Hello, good night.
Good night, ma'am.
I just think that what has been said so far is very disrespectful to women. Disrespectful and distasteful, and I really can't agree with it. Women have been fighting for their rights for so many years. I don't care if women think that they're oppressed or they're the worst case in the world. You are not. You are beautiful. Get out there and show the world what you can do. Don't just sit back and lay your back and say, well, world, do your worst. Get up. Show your face. Lift your head. Go and do something worthwhile. Don't just sell your body. But that's just one part of it. I think that women can do so much more. So much more in this country we can do.
I agree.
Like, an opportunity was stripped away from a beautiful woman the other day. I won't call her name because I can't. But other than that, I think that you should try to give women more respect, men on a general, and me as a woman, I just like to say, this show is the best show that's ever come on my earwaves. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for being one of our faithful listeners. Here on Up to Haystacks, we allow you the opportunity to voice your opinion, whether negative or positive, without judgment being passed. We have another email here that says, if prostitution is legalized, massive employment will result. All the women that sleep with the boss for professional advancement will be kicked to the curb, and the economy cannot handle the mass exodus. Well, as I stated earlier, listener, each person has their own outlet, and we're not going to judge a person for being involved in an act of prostitution. So, with that said, we're going to move on to our next caller. Good night, caller. Your life. What's your opinion?
Hi, good night. I just like to say I is a guy that's got a strip clubs and I think a lot, right? And I get real. I am 24 years old or so, and I recently went into a strip club. Now, some of the experiences that I had, they were very wow. I mean, I never thought you could give a woman $2 and experience something like that.
Well, sir, we're speaking about prostitution, really. Strip clubs don't facilitate prostitution.
Prostitution. Well, I haven't had that experience as yet. I was thinking about. Good night. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, caller. Tonight, for you listeners, we have a very special surprise. Tony has been on the prowl in the streets trying to find a sex worker. And I got a call earlier, apparently he has, and he's on his way back to the studio. He allowed me to know that her name is Dixie Normus. Miss Normus, as we will refer to her on the show for the obvious pun. Dixie Normus will be joining us later. And here, look, we see Tony coming through the door. Good night, Tony.
Good night, good night, good night.
How was it, Tony?
Well, boy, the search was rough. The women was good looking. Some of them wasn't so good looking. But a fine one.
Unfortunately, Tony, sorry to cut you off. It seems here that we have a call. You want to take this
yeah,
call?
I can take this call here. Good night. What's your opinion?
Ole Holmes.
Alright, good night.
Yeah, I want to call in the prostitution in Barbados. I am from Mexico, and I spend a little time in Spain. And in Spain, the women are to wear high visibility jackets for the prostitution, so you know who they are. When I come to Barbados, your beautiful island, I see a prostitute in a high visibility jacket, allowing children to cross the road up and down on the zebra crossing, and I go up to her and she get vexed when I offer her $100. What is that, Tony?
Well, my Mexican friend, I have to say to you that you're very mistaken. You see, you come from one part of the world and there's another. Alright? The women over here that does wear high visibility jackets are traffic warnings, and the other ones sweep beside the road like the highway and things. Is wearing jackets so that the truck men and things can see them, not hit them.
Oh, I see. I know she was upset when I gave her the $100. I was saying prostitution today. That is very wonderful.
To that woman, I need to apologize for this foreigner's behavior.
Well, Tony, that is very true. Very true. Okay, thank you very much for having me on the show.
Alright, good night, brother.
Well, Tony, thank you for making it here with Miss Enormous. We're going to have Miss Enormous. She's going to answer a couple questions for us.
Yeah, no, already it's Miss Normus, though. Miss Normus.
Miss Normus, sorry.
Right, Dixie is her first name.
Dixie Normus, right. We're going to have her share some of her challenges, some of her experiences. We're going to have a little look into how she functions as a sex worker in Barbados. Good night, Miss Normus.
Good night, Tony and Riley.
Oh, Riley Hyde, Mr. Hyde.
Riley Hyde. Riley Hyde.
Welcome to our program. Yeah, let me ask you a question here now. What sort of challenges you face as a prostitute, or would you prefer me to call you a sex worker?
Honestly, I like night order.
A lady of the night game.
I is a
That would
working
smell
woman.
good. You smell that flowers, Mr. Hyde.
Well, I've come across a couple of them.
Right, lady of the night.
I is a working woman. I is a working woman. Challenges. It's be hard out there, so for true, you know. It's be hard out there, so on a night making money or not. No.
I would figure it'd be hard.
Well, Tony, count on you to say something like that.
You know, it's be a good side. We out there, so on the road and things. So sometimes it's be hard to get the clientele when the women are things fighting for them.
Listen, that can't be true. You gotta be in the wrong area because I hear a specific area that men is line up for it. So I don't think they got short head, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they got short the client's head.
Well, that's true. But, Miss Norris, my question to you, do you get the support from the sectors, the different sectors, allowing you to find work outside of prostitution? Is it difficult for you to find a job outside of prostitution?
In other words, does the government help you?
If the government has helped me, the government has helped. But,
Well, that's a punch at the government.
pun, a real thing though. I mean, as a girl that left school, I had certificates and things for left in school, and I can't find a work. So I gotta do what I gotta do, pun a night to support myself. Real thing.
So you're saying that you never really started out in this line of work.
But then my first choice, but you know, when you got your children and things to send to school and you got bills
Children?
and things to pay. Well, you got children too, and you got bills and things to pay. You gotta do something to make little income.
So this choice to become a prostitute,
Mm-hmm.
was this as a result of your past, your negative past? Were you molested as a child, or was this something that you were introduced to and found it pleasing? Forgive the pun.
If I find it pleasing, sometimes just find it pleasing.
Well, folks,
No.
you heard that. You did hear that.
No, but for the real thing, I did introduce her by one of my girlfriends though. It didn't end that I did set help doing or call my childhood the bad or anything. So it's that I had bills to pay, I had to make ends meet. So that's what I do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Dixie Normus. Thank you, Tony. I wonder
No
how
problem.
much money we have for her.
I gonna ask her out there. I don't think we quite know what she get.
Thank you very much, folks, for joining us on another interesting episode of Up to Haystacks. Our sponsor tonight was brought to you by BBC Think Dirty. We also want to thank Mirgeld Financial Services.
Yes, they love the accounting you the test 230-9032 Sharimat.
We also want to allow you to know that to relieve your stress in a more legal way, you can contact Renewal Bodyworks at 266-1107. That's Carol. We thank you very much for joining us on the show Up to Haystacks with O'Reilly Hay and Tony.
Don't forget, 2 minutes, write in your problems. Let me know what's going on over here. I can give you a solution.
Thank you very much. Everyone, good night.